I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Jeff Charles, Sarah Calgill, Tim Donner, and Andrew Moran. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Our old gal pal, Maxine Waters, is in the news again, and not for inciting violence against Trump folks, but for doling out campaign dollars to her daughter. A cool $1.1 million, to be exact, is what many are saying. This is apparently based on Federal Election Commission data. The daughter of the California Democrat organized a slate mailing operation to push her mother's reelection. The thing is, slate mailing is uncommon, so uncommon. Maxine is the only federal candidate in 2020 to use such tactics. So, how is it that no one is talking about this? Jeff, let's start with you. What's up with the lack of reporting on what for all the world appears to be the misuse of campaign funds? Will the California Democrat remain untouchable, in your opinion?
Unfortunately, yes, she will remain untouchable. Maxine Waters has a history of corruption. I think she was even voted the most, had the most ethics violations in the House of Representatives. She has a long history of being corrupt, and even people in her district know that she's corrupt. But she's going to remain in place. Why? Because of what I always say. The GOP won't challenge her. They won't put up a viable challenger. The person that they put up or supported to challenge her in this past election season, it was a joke. He ended up in jail for stalking a girl. So, I mean, until the Republicans actually take this stuff seriously and start actually mounting challenges, people like Maxine Waters will stay in Congress until they decided to retire or until they die. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what she does because she will not be held accountable. The activist media is not going to call her out. And she recently just accused President Trump of premeditated murder for the riots. So she can say and do whatever she wants, and she knows it.
Wow, that's pretty clear. Sarah, your thoughts on Maxine Waters?
Well, Maxine is not only, feathering the nest of her daughter. I mean, over the years, she has paid millions of dollars to random family members. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want to be related to that woman, even if she is as crazy as she seems? I can't believe that somebody hasn't called her on it. Over the years, I mean, press didn't used to be so squishy, they didn't used to be so anti-middle of the road. And, 20 years ago, somebody should have nailed her then. I kind of agree with Jeff. I don't see her coming down unless she trips down the Capitol steps accidentally or something. And
Andrew, I know this offends your sense of, you're the economic correspondent here. This just offends your sensibilities.
Well, in a way, I look at the bright side, because if there's more corrupt politicians like Maxine Waters, hopefully, more Americans will wake up to just how corrupt the U.S. government is, and whether it's in the House or the Senate. But I think Tim would appreciate this. I think Maxine Waters' new campaign theme song should be Dirty Water. And for those who don't know, Dirty Water is a theme song that the Boston Red Sox play after they win at Fenway Park. But, everyone's right here. She's going to get away with it. I mean, just look at her latest endeavor. She's gonna go after memers on the Reddit Wall Street Bets GameStop saga and have them testify. That's her priority. And of course, as Jeff said, getting Trump charged with premeditated murder. So Maxine Waters, in a way, she's a great congresswoman because she provides a lot of entertainment to conservatives.
Okay, trivia question. Who wrote Dirty Water and sang it?
Got me.
The Standells.
I was going to say Babe Ruth because it was the Red Sox. But that's right. They traded him to the Yankees. I forgot about that. Sorry, Andrew. The thing is that let's tie this behavior by Maxine Waters to that of the Biden family to point out that this is endemic to the swamp. This is the type of behavior, this is the type of corruption that Donald Trump ran against, that anybody who wants reform in government, from Andrew right on down, is dying for this kind of activity to go away, because it continues. People come to Washington poor, they leave rich, they never explain how it happened. We know about the Biden family, we know about Maxine Waters, it happens with Republicans too. This is quintessential swamp behavior, the kind that the voters went out in force to vote against in 2016. And as far as 2020, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I wrote a couple of years ago having a laundry list of all the politicians' kids who have benefited either, serving in government or getting nice positions in nonprofit organizations or corporations or law offices just because of who they're connected to. The Kennedy family, God, they've had such established positions and millions of dollars in the bank accounts going from even before JFK, his father, Joseph Kennedy. So all these people, if you have a great last name in Washington, you're going to set yourself up. You're going to be a wealthy person.
This actually kind of ties into another troubling aspect of American political discourse today. Even the rank and file voters won't hold people accountable if they're on their sides. We have prioritized a team sports mentality over actual corruption. We care more about defending our own than we do about dealing with corruption. Maxine Waters could shoot somebody on Crenshaw and nothing would happen to her because everybody on the left would defend her because she's on their team. We've kind of lost that over the past few decades, the notion that it doesn't matter what political party you're a part of. If you're engaging in illicit activity, you need to be held accountable. But now we only have this principle when it's based on somebody that we don't like. And both sides do it, but nothing will change until we get out of that mindset to where we can take somebody, if you're a Democrat and you see another Democrat doing something that's blatantly wrong and call that out, that's when things will change. But as it is right now, we're so ingrained in our teams that we're not willing to do that.
Well, maybe the best way to do that is to put pressure, the constituent, the voter, to put pressure on the parties and say, you ain't getting a dime of our money unless you clean house.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Of course, the problem is that we only have two political parties. I mean, this is not a parliamentary system where we have multiple parties. So you've got basically catch-all parties where you've got Donald Trump and Mitt Romney in the same party, and you got Maxine Waters and Joe Manchin in the same party under the same basic umbrella, even though they believe things, very differently. But the people, the people made their statement in 2016 about the type of corruption we're talking about here. But I mean, the list goes on and on to the point where I have said that I don't believe the Hunter Biden story will ever be brought to light because it will be so easy for the Biden administration to go to various members of Congress in their own party, but mostly in the GOP, and say, gee, it'd be a shame if I revealed the story of this contributor and what you got in return for it, because Washington is replete with stories like that. So consequently, because it is, nobody wants to point the finger at anybody else because they're afraid it'll get pointed right back at them.
Well, if this administration wants unity, they're going to have to get at the party level, and people are going to have to just go, here's our 5, you get rid of these 5 and we'll get rid of those 5, or however many. It could be the whole dang Congress. I don't know. But I think that there needs to be something from the ground up because the top down is not working.
I think it was Thomas Sowell who said that if you passed a law against lying in Washington, it would be an eerie silence from coast from district to district.
An E.F. Hutton moment, right? But I think you mentioned earlier, Sarah, that Waters' daughter isn't the only family member who's profited from her time in all her campaigns. In 2004, the LA Times found several members of Waters' clan had received over $1 million in the previous 8 years from businesses and campaigns relating to Maxine Waters. So she seems to be continuing this operation with impunity. Anyway, nice work if you can get it. Thanks, guys. That's all I have to say on the matter, and that's all we have time for today. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all our TV productions. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our new member zone, just $17.76 for the year. And remember, liberty all the time and everywhere.